everybody, I'm going to try to do a tutorial today on how I make, let me just grab a bag, how I make, it's just a basic zipper pouch. I didn't do the flat bottom, it's just real simple. The pattern piece is this basically. So what you would do, I will give you my measurements since this is my pattern and I'm not selling it. It's basically any size rectangle you want to make and just cut out notches. Let's see, I'll just give you the measurement really quick while I'm thinking about it. Mine is 12.5 by 9. So just cut out a rectangle that's 12.5 by 9, and I believe each of these are 1.5 inches. So a rectangle 12.5 by 9, and then cut out 1.5 inches on each bottom corner, and that's your piece. You need 2 exterior and 2 lining pieces. I am using this vinyl. It's kind of floppy. It's not really stiff, so I'm going to be putting some decovil heavy on it. I will pause the video so you don't have to sit through that, but that's what I plan on doing for the outside to make it a little bit stiff. I'm using waterproof canvas for the inside, so I'm not interfacing that. The modifications I'm doing to it, I'm putting an exterior zipper on the outside. This one does not have a crossbody strap, it's just a shoulder strap. The purple one will have a crossbody strap, so I'll be using D-rings here instead of these square ones, and I will be making a regular crossbody strap for that. Inside it'll have a zipper pocket on one side and a couple slip pockets on the other side. So that's what we're going to work on today. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll try to explain everything as I go. I think that's about it for now. I have my zippers ready. I have one long zipper for the outside, and let's see if I can show you that really quick. I made it about 1/2 inch smaller on each end because I'm going to be using zipper tabs. So that's kind of, I guess I can measure it really quick. 11. It's 11 inches. And then my other ones, I just cut them the same exact length as my zipper pockets, which I guess I can give you that measurement too really quick. 8.5. Sorry guys, I got a phone call. 8.5 by 5.5 is your zipper pockets. You will need 4 of these all together if you're going to do the same exact bag that I'm doing, the exterior and one on the inside. Let me look through my stuff, find my, where's it at? For my slip pocket. If you're using waterproof canvas, let me turn you, there we go. If you're using waterproof canvas, you will want a piece of material that is 12.5 by 5.5, and we are going to, when we get to that part, this is the right side, we're just going to fold it down and top stitch so it has a nice smooth edge, about 1/2 inch maybe, something like that, and top stitch, and then I'll show you what we're going to do when we get to that. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and get my exterior pieces with their decovil heavy, get it ready to go. Also, if you do decovil heavy, cut it, I guess, 1 inch off each side. So you got 1/2 inch around the whole entire thing if you're going to use interfacing. Mine is 11.5. This is for the decovil heavy by 8. I will try to remember to put these measurements down in the comments if you don't remember and you don't want to scroll back through. I'll try to do my best there. So okay, I'm going to pause the video and get that ready, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I have my exterior pieces interfaced and ready to go. Right now I'm going to work on my D-ring connectors that we're going to connect our crossbody strap to, and then I'm obviously going to work on my crossbody strap. So I'm going to do that really quick. I got a 2 inch by 3 3/4. It doesn't have to be an exact length because most of it's going to be hidden in the bag. All we want is a little bit up here. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get some double-sided tape. And you don't have to use double-sided tape. You can just clip it if you need to. Just going to put a 1/2 inch double-sided tape down the center of each of these connectors. And I'm going to do the same thing for the crossbody strap. I already got my line drew down the center. Usually on these long ones I'll use a 1/4 inch I know it uses more, but this is pretty thin actually, so I'll probably do the 1/2 inch. But anyway, I have white thread in my sewing machine. Stitch length is set at 4.5. That should be fine. Don't mind me, I got a bit of a cold. I have no fever, I have just a runny nose. And sometimes a little bit of cough. So, not going out, not doing nothing, just sitting home sewing. Hoping that it doesn't end up being the scary coronavirus. I don't think it is. I think I'm just sick. It happens. I have allergies, so I sneeze a lot anyway. But it had gotten cold here, and then it got warm, and then it got cold again. So I think that's kind of what did it for me. But okay. I took these, folded them both into the center. I put my D-ring in them. I'm just going to fold it down. I'm going to stitch across here, just so it doesn't move, basically. And just do the same thing to the other one. D-ring on, line up your edges, and just kind of stitch fairly close to that D-ring. Okay. And I am going to use my lighter and burn my threads a little bit so they're not so, let me see. See, I just got, there we go, really close to the D-ring. I'm not going to sew that. That's going to be hidden inside the bag where we put our zipper on. But just be careful if you're using a lighter or something that you don't melt your vinyl, because then you just have to do it over again. No one wants melted vinyl on their bag. So, yeah. Alright, those are ready. Set them off to the side. Now, I want to go ahead, move all this junk, and we'll put our double-sided tape on our crossbody strap. And basically do the same thing. Oops, wrong scissors. Okay. I'm done with these for now. Okay. So sorry about the sniffles if I'm sniffing a lot. I swear I took medicine. It's just, I don't think it's kicked in yet, so my bad. Or it has, and it's just making my nose run. I don't know. My luck, that's probably what's going on. I always tend to take the wrong stuff, it seems like, and then it just makes me feel worse. But it's like, even with my allergies and all the sneezing I do, just in general, I've been sneezing for like 3 months now. I don't know what the deal is. But I'm afraid to go out in public because then people are looking at me like, is she sick? And I don't want to touch anything she touches. And I promise, the sneezing is... It's like all your round thing. It's like all the time. But anyway. Okay. I gotta flip this around to get the other side. Okay. Alright, now that we got both long edges folded in, we're just going to fold them in one more time to get a nice, smooth strap. And I'm going to turn my stitch length up to about a 5.5, I think. That sounds good. And just about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, something like that. down the other side. Over here. Okay. Oops. Go ahead and, whoa, I missed one. All right, now my crossbody strap, I'm going to put, I'm actually gonna, where's my scissors? Cut this down nice and flush. There we go. On the other side. Beautiful. All right. I'm not going to go into big detail on how to make crossbody straps. So sorry, but I'm not. Okay, maybe. There we go. I'll kind of show you as I go, I guess. But got the buckle that has the thing. Yep. Okay, I guess I am kind of showing you, huh? I want to do it about right there, somewhere in there. I'm just gonna top stitch, not top stitch, but stitch this down. Turn my stitch thing down just a little bit, I guess. I think I'm gonna do 2 lines, just so it's nice and sturdy and secure. Go over a little. Okay. Cut those off. Use my lighter really quick. So now we have this part. Might as well just show you since I'm doing it. I have the wrong side up, the side we just sewed, that little flap that's pointing up. Okay. I want to take this little doodad and put it in. See how it's pointing upside down? And you just want to pick it up, and you want the flat side to be on that side that's pointing up. This is the right side. Fold it over. Pull it all the way up. Okay, you got the 2 wrong sides facing each other. Go back in through here, and then back down. And that is your crossbody strap. With a hook. Okay, we're going to, this is vinyl, so it's going to be kind of sticky. Make it a little shorter here, just like a regular crossbody strap. Alright, we're good there. If this isn't right, I mean, usually you can kind of twist your vinyl. Unless it's really thick vinyl, you should be able to like twist it around. But so that's where we got. Where? Huh, that's what we got. Alright, this is the right side up. We want to flip it over. The wrong side's up again, just like we had it just a second ago. Same thing. Take your lobster clasp or whatever you have, and have the clasp down below, the flat side up. Feed it through, and you're just going to fold it over. And you're either going to top stitch, stitch like a box, or you can rivet. I think I'm just going to do the box. Just a small box, and be done with it. So go ahead and do that. Whoop. Needle up. Okay. Jeez, that was confusing. Not at all. And again, I just want to burn these threads, and then our crossbody strap is done. Ooh, left them a little long. Beautiful. Alright, crossbody strap done. We will set that aside. Now we can move on. We're going to do our lining pieces because we need to get these pockets put in our linings and stuff before we can sew everything together. So we're going to go ahead and take that big piece I was telling you about. I should probably write these down as I'm doing this, but unfortunately I'm not. I will do it though. Alright. Slip. If I don't do this, I will forget and then I won't put it in the comments. What did I say? It's 12.5 by 5.5. 12.5 by 5.5. Alright. We're going to fold one of these edges down about, I don't know, 1/2 inch? Something like that. So I'm going to make it easy on myself and use some tape. If you want to mark it, you can. Or you can just eyeball it. If you want to mark it and you're going to move it down 1/2 inch, make a 1 inch mark on the wrong side of your material. I'm going to use 1/4 inch tape. Put it right against the edge. We're close enough. Mine went crooked. Okay, so I got a 1 inch mark and I used 1/4 inch tape, so I tried to get it as close to the edge as I can. We're going to fold it down 1/2 inch, so we want to line up this straight edge to that line we drew. My lighting is awful. Okay. You can also kind of press this a little, but with waterproof canvas it's kind of hard because it doesn't want to stay where you put it. But alright, so now we have a finished edge. We're just going to top stitch that. I'm leaving my my stitch length at 4.5. It's pretty good where it's at. Whoa. Alright. Okay. And now I'm not really worried about the threads because they're going to be hidden in the seam allowance when we get to that part. If you want, you can either fold it in half to find the center. I'm going to use my handy dandy ruler here and just use a friction pen or something that will come off of your fabric. You don't want that mark to stay there. Mark your center if you want 2 slip pockets, which I would recommend. Then, oh, we need our pen again. We're going to take this piece where the notches are, put a ruler, and go 1 inch up from here. So we want to make a mark 1 inch up from those notches. So I got my 1 inch mark lined up right here. I'm going to turn it around because I'm right-handed here. Okay, I laid my 1 inch mark right here, as you can see, and I'm just going to make a line. Again, use your friction pen or water dissolvable, whatever type of pen you have. And now this is how we want our piece to lay in here when it's finished. So we're just going to put right sides together and line up the raw edge of your slip pocket with that mark and just do about 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way down. I'm not even going to clip because it's kind of hard to clip. So just kind of eyeball it. I will turn my stitch length down a little bit. Back stitch in, just line up that mark. Stop and check. Okay. Oop. You'll want to use your iron after this just to make sure it stays flipped. But this is where we're at. We laid them right sides together. We're going to flip it up and just iron a little bit. And then we're going to baste around here to keep it in place, and then we'll sew our center mark. I want to go iron this really quick though. Not necessarily iron, but you want to use some steam. Waterproof canvas really likes that steam. So let's grab a couple clips just so it doesn't move, which I don't think it will, but you never know. Okay. So let's go ahead and just baste around here. When you get to the center, you'll see me do it, but I'm going to start here, sew around. When I get here, I'm going to sew up, do a little bit of tack stitching, sew back down, and then finish it all the way around. I'd say 1/8 of an inch. Here doesn't matter because it's a base stitch, just stay close to the edge so you just meet all the pieces, but down here on your finished, that fold that we just sewed together, maybe 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch away, something like that. No one's probably going to see it, it's going to be down into the bag so much, but you know. Alright. There we go. Okay. And if you're wondering what I did up there, I just got to my stitch line and just kind of back stitched back and forth. So as you can see, it doesn't go all the way to the, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but hopefully you can see what I did there. All right, one side finished. We're gonna go ahead and lay this somewhere. Okay. The other side we need to put a zipper pocket on. These are not fun. I don't like doing them, but whatever. Okay, you want to fold it in half to find your center. Go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm going to measure down about 1.25 inches from that center mark. Kind of draw a line. I found my center mark and I just kind of drew a line. Just for better placement, when I go to lay this, I know exactly where to lay it. Move that out of the way for a second. We're going to go about 1 inch down. Sorry, find your center. This is the small piece. I should probably write it down to, really quick. 8.5 by 5.5. Zip 8.5, 5.5. Okay, sorry about that. All right, go down about 1 inch. Find your center. Go down about 1 inch. We're gonna make a 7-inch zipper. So on my center ruler, I have a 0 here. I'm gonna go 3.5 this way and 3.5 this way from my center mark. I go down about, not quite a 1/2 inch, but it's not 1/4 inch. Sometimes a 1/2 inch just seems too big. But that's your own personal preference for zippers. But anyway, find your centers. I can still see my fold, so I can see where to line it up at. Another thing I like to do is flip this bottom up and clip it. It just keeps that pocket from moving so much. So now I can kind of throw it around and the pocket's still where it needs to be. So let's go ahead and sew around this. Okay. I'm actually going to do the whole box this time. Usually I just do 2 parallel lines, but here lately I've been switching it up. So I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around. And I always go over where I first started, past it, just so I don't have to worry about maybe it coming undone. And really, I started in the very corner, and I went all the way around, and when I came back, I went about 1 inch past where I started, just to double reinforce it type thing. Take our clips off. If you just use scissors, that's fine. I always get my seam ripper and give it a little poke right in the center, just to kind of get it started. And then I grab some scissors. Maybe. There we go. I like these zipper pouches because you can make them. They're so easy. I mean, you can do any size. You can, instead of 12.5 by whatever it was, 9.5 or whatever, you can do 15 by 10 or whatever type of rectangle you want. And then just cut those notches in the center, and you got yourself a bag. I mean, it's quite nice. I'm going to go to my iron. This is our wrong side here. I'm going to fold this down and steam it, and then I'm going to flip this part up and steam it, and then steam each side. I'll go ahead and pause the video really quick, and then I'll flip it through just like a regular zipper pocket, and then we'll sew the zipper on. I'll be right back. I'm back. So I ironed it like I said. I flipped it through the hole, and then I just pressed it so my hole is nice and flat, and I'm going to go ahead and put my zipper in it. Just make sure your zipper pull is going in the right direction that you want it to go in. I want mine to close over here, so I'm going to make sure when it closes that's where it's going to be. Oh, my eye itches. Okay, kind of get it on there. I'm going to go straight to my machine. I always start like in the middle. I never start on the end. It's pure preference. You can do what you want when you make yours. A few stitches, back stitch. All right, I'm going to close my zipper. Okay. Back stitch a little. Turn, adjust if need be. Okay. Turn, yeah. Okay, back stitch a little. And so on. Take your time if this is new for you. Zippers are kind of a pain to get used to. I still really don't like them, but they are a lot easier for me to do than they used to be. Just the more you do, the easier it'll get, I promise. You'll find little things that make it easier for you than what the way other people do it do. So, unzip my zipper. Okay. Back stitch a little, turn. Okay. Back stitch. Back stitch. Alright. I leave just a little bit on there so I can melt. Oh, where'd that go? So I can melt it. Just a little. Okay. So now we have it. It opens. Leave it toward the middle. Go ahead and grab one of our other zipper pieces. Right sides together. And we're only going to stitch the sides and the top. We're going to leave the bottom open because we want to turn our bag through that hole. So I will go ahead and do that. Okay. It's kind of, if you want to do a 1/2 inch seam allowance, you can. If you want to do a 1/4, you can. This is really just kind of made up as I go, so I just kind of just do whatever. I'd say I'm in between a 1/4 and a 1/2, probably. I do a little back stitch over that zipper when I get to it. Just a little reinforcement here. Back stitch at the bottom at the start and stop when doing this because we're going to be folding it up, and that does put a little bit of strain on that seam. So as you can see, here's the front, flip it around, I back stitch the sides and the top. We're just going to flip this up. That's way too much. You're going to finesse it, make it a little bit smaller. And then just take it to your iron and press it, and it'll, for the most part, keep its shape. It'll probably come unfolded, but it'll remember, especially if you press it. So, I don't know, 1/2 inch. If you can get it smaller, make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and press that really quick. Just be careful with the wrong side of that waterproof canvas. It does not like the iron too much. Alright, so now our lining pieces are done. We have a zipper and we have a slip pocket. We're going to set those aside because we still have to put a zipper pocket on the front, which is the same exact thing we did on the other side. I wouldn't recommend drawing on this. I would probably just fold it, find your center. I can't really put it there, can I? Anyway, find your center. You can eyeball it, especially if you have this one ready, which I don't. And we're going to put right sides together, so let me fold that again so I can see my crease. Okay, I'm just going to eyeball it. I think I want it about right here. I am guessing, but it looks to be 1.5 inches down from the top. I will go ahead and mark, see I'm doing it kind of out of order, that's my bad. But you're just going to do the same exact thing you did on the other zipper for the lining that we just finished. It's going to be 3.5 from the center. I'm going to pause the video because there's no reason for me to show this again. I literally just did it. But that's what we're going to do. This part may be a little tough when it comes to sewing our zipper in because I use decovil heavy. So it's probably going to give me a fit. I may even turn the video back on just so you guys can watch me struggle through it. But I'm going to go ahead and do this part right now, and then we'll just, if it happens to be easy, then it was easy, and you guys will know that it was because I'll tell you it was. So alright, I'll be right back. So I'm back. I got it flipped to the right side. I did cut off some of the decovil heavy on the edges. I should have suggested this sooner. Once you make your stitch line, if you can get rid of the decovil heavy inside your box that you stitch, that would be easier. I mean, this is possible, and I was able to iron from this side because obviously this is vinyl. You don't want to iron on that side. But once I flipped it through, I did kind of iron it, and I think I'm good. And I have an industrial machine, so I know it's going to sew through all of this. But I figured I would just let you watch me struggle through it, just so you know that if you keep the decovil heavy in there and flip it through, this is what you're going to have to deal with basically. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. You're going to have to do some pulling and adjusting to kind of, your lining is probably going to show just a little bit just because it's just, it is what it is. But you can do this. Whoa, get back in there. Let's zip that. Alright. Might as well watch me struggle, right? Okay, let's do this. This isn't too bad. Definitely easier if you don't have decovil heavy in this area. I am not going to backstitch just because it's vinyl and I don't want it to like perforate too much. It'll be alright. Okay. And I'm just reaching under and pulling on the lining part to kind of just make my edge here a little smoother. That's all I'm doing. And holding it, stitching a little. Get my zipper pull up here. Pull, 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 and zip that a little. Okay. Burn this thread off. Alright, so you can see it worked. I have a little bit of lining showing over here. Not bad considering. So we're going to go ahead and do right sides together, but this time we're going to sew around the whole thing. Woo. Okay. So it doesn't really matter where you start. Just start. Okay. all stitched up. It's not perfect. I'm not trimming it. It'll be fine. Just make sure everything is caught. Beautiful. Now we can sew it all together. We're almost done. All right, so you need to figure out which lining you want in your bag. Let me grab this one. This is the front, and when I open it, I have the zipper on the opposite side of this zipper. So that's what I want to do in this one. So I want to put my slip pockets on the side that has the zipper on the outside. So that's the two pieces I want. I want these two pieces, slip pockets and then exterior pocket. Also, I want one of these. And you'll see once I put my zipper on, which is right here. Let me iron it real quick. I'm not there yet. I gotta put my zipper tabs on my zipper. I almost forgot. But you'll see when we put our zipper tabs on, we're gonna put this right beside the zipper tabs. I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's do the zipper tabs really quick. What I'm using, since it's vinyl, is the pieces that I cut out of the corner. I'm using those for my zipper tab. And I'm just folding it over, making the edges meet, and top stitching. That's all I'm doing. I don't even know what size the square is. Well, 1.5 inch square, because that's what I cut out of the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do really quick here. I will cut off the excess that I don't need because it's going to be too big. Okay, let's do the other side. Maybe my zipper isn't cut flush. What a pain in the tushy. Okay. These threads off don't have to be pretty because we're going to cut the zipper tab flush with the zipper. See how they're a little extra? I'm just going to cut it down. Make them nice and even with the zipper. Alright. Now, we're going to baste our zipper on, and I want it to open from this side, so when I shut it, it's going to be down here. So what we're going to do is this where we want it to open. But we want this to be in here also. We're going to have to shove it in here like upside down like so. But we need to figure out where we want this first. Pin it on, but then we're going to put this in here right next to the zipper tab. So let's go ahead and clip the zipper tab. It's not zipper tab, the zipper. Let's clip the zipper on. And we can always remove the clip, so it's not like we've stitched anything yet. So let's get a couple extra clips. So doing a normal zipper pouch, this is what you just put the zipper in there, but I want a crossbody strap added. So I'm going to take a couple of these off, 2 of them. And we need to do it like this when we put it in there, because we want this part hidden in the seam allowance. You can measure, which is probably a good idea. I have a Tandy leather pen. It will wipe away. Since this is yay big, my things are exactly the same. I want it to be, looks like 3/8, half inch, and you don't even have to mark it, honestly. I'm not going to mark it. I just measured, so this overhang, if you do the same exact measurements I give you, will be a ½ inch overhang up here. And you want to make it right beside your zipper tab. It's hard to show. Right next to, see how it lines up right next to your zipper tab. Alright, hopefully I explained that good enough, because I'm not really good at these tutorial things. But, Okay. I would say we're gonna baste because I don't want to put the waterproof canvas on here. I want to make sure everything stays. So definitely, I recommend basting. Stitch lengths at a 4. That's probably good. Start on your zipper tab, not on the edge. And do about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. Little back stitch. Move some pins or clips. I do a little back stitching on that strap connector just for extra stability. We don't want it going anywhere. All right, unzip that. And then stop on your zipper tab also. Do not sew past it. Whoa, okay. So we started and stopped on our zipper tab, and when we flip it up and we sew it all together, you'll have your connector there. Probably could have went down even further, but I think it'll be fine. It'll be great. All right, so now we're gonna get our lining piece. Unzip your zipper halfway, right sides together, just like a normal zipper pouch. Line it up. I want to stitch so where I can see the line I've already made when I stitched my zipper on, so I'm just going to line it up. This is going to be sticking out, which is fine. I'm not even going to cut it off because I think it just gives it that much more stability by leaving it there. I don't want it to be cut off and then right to the edge of where I stitch, because then it's just more likely with wear and tear and use every day that it will just come out. We don't want that. All right, and again, we want to start and stop where we've already stitched. You don't want to start on these edges. You want those to be open. So start on top of your zipper tab. And now we're going to go about 1/4 of an inch in, something like that. Try to get close to your zipper, I guess, but not, of course, not over top of the zipper teeth. Let's go ahead and move our zipper hole. And again, I would suggest back stitching on this strap connector. And then stop at the end of your zipper tab. All right, when we flip it up, let's shut our zipper. And we want to top stitch. We don't want to push this down yet and make it flush. We only want to top stitch this top part. And this time you are going to start at the very end, all the way across and stop at the very end. So let's go ahead and do that. Turn the stitch length up a little bit for top stitching. Okay. Oh, I ran out of bobbin. Of course, when we're top stitching, right? Go figure. This white blends in with this vinyl so good that I don't think it's going to be a problem. I shouldn't have cut it. I should have started over. Oops. Oh well. It'll be fine. Okay. Get right back under there. It'll be fine. Okay. Burn that. Put it over. I'm just going to melt that really quick. Where did it go? There it is. Sorry. 1 second. Alright, now that we have top stitched, now we can fold it down. If you're careful, you can iron this. It will help. I wouldn't iron your edges, especially if you used, I wouldn't iron your edges if you used vinyl, because you could hit those and melt them a little bit. But go ahead and iron this down just a little bit so it'll keep its shape, basically. Alright, unzip your zipper halfway, and we're just going to do the same thing for the other side. One thing I did forget was to put my handmade label on. Luckily, we haven't gotten too far yet, so I'm going to do that really quick. I just seen it laying there, so I was like, oh no! Okay, I'm going to start from the back side just so, yeah, just so I can draw on it move my zipper thing out of the way. This is where I'm going to want it on the front. I'm going to want it 3 inches up, so I'm going to find my center. Of course, you can fold it in half still if you want. That works too. This is my center, and I want to go 3 inches up. This is what I did the other day, and it was a pretty good spot. Okay. I'm just going to make my marks there. So just lay my clip on here. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm getting too excited, getting ahead of myself. All right, flip it over, make sure it's in there correctly. This one, there's the other. Gorgeous. Okay. And just so I don't hurt my hands when I'm turning it, well, I was going to use some duct tape, but it's not in there, so it'll be fine. You could put some duct tape over that, so when you're turning your bag right side out, you don't like cut your hand and stuff on it. But so yeah, there's my bag. Now you got your, make sure you unclip that so you don't have a clip floating around in there. Right side's up, zippers unzipped halfway. Take your other piece, right sides together. I like to flip it over so my zipper's on top. You're gonna fold this out of the way. You do not want to stitch on that. And start pinning, not pinning, clipping. Wonder clips might work a little better, might keep it from moving around. So you might want to use those instead. I may switch to them. We'll see how this works. When you get to this other side, you don't want to put another strap connector on the same edge. You want to put it on the opposite edge. Same exact thing. Measure up when you put it in there. So it's a 1/2 inch from the edge. Ah, just about stabbed myself. Hang on. Okay. You want it to be a 1/2 inch from the edge and just right next to your zipper tab. And that looks good right there. And we'll just continue clipping here. I think I will use some Wonder clips. Okay, this kind of helps everything stay a little better. So, yeah. All right, same thing. We're gonna baste it 1/8 inch from the edge. Start on your zipper tab, and yeah, same thing as before. Move that zipper pull. Okay. You have to adjust, go ahead. Make sure that other strap connector is folded down. You do not want to sew through that. Ask me how I know. Alright, this is what you're looking like. You have the one sticking up, the other one is folded down. Go ahead and get your other lining piece, right sides together. Again, I'm going to flip it over to the, so I can see my stitch line, sorry. Make sure that still stays up. Line up your edges and just clip, just like before. Again, I'm sorry for all the sniffling. It's just, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it, but I thought it'd be fun to do this since I'm sitting home doing nothing. Alright, 1/4 inch away from the edge. Start and stop on your zipper tab. Get my threads here. Let's find that zipper pull. Where is it at? Oh geez, it's all the way over here. Okay. You should probably get it. hang on, let me get my zipper pull out of the way. Alright, there we go. Make sure that's folded down. My D-ring was flipped up. Make sure everything's down. Start and stop on your zipper tab. It's like a broken record, huh? I just don't want you to forget. Alright, flip your exterior piece only open and top stitch all the way from one edge to the other edge, the very edge. Make sure your D-rings are out of the way. Move your move your stitch length up if you need to. Stitch a little. Make sure you move that strap connector out of the way. Okay. So close. All right, flip the whole entire thing over. You have all your linings. You have 3 pieces on one side you should have, and just the 1 piece here. Flip this open, and we're gonna iron it just like we did the other one. I would just iron here over. Stay away from the zipper tabs if they're vinyl. All right. That isn't the greatest, but it's done. Now, your interior zipper, you want to unzip halfway. As long as it's not going to get caught in the seam allowances, depending on how big you made your zipper. Put right sides together for the lining and right sides together on the exterior. And we're just going to clip it all around and sew it all together. Now when you do this, make sure your zipper gets folded towards your lining, and then match up your edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And this is where I'm going to use a lot of Wonder Clips. I feel like they're better than the other ones. The other ones are good for like thinner or stuff that doesn't really shift too much, but there's a lot of vinyl here and stuff, so I'm just rambling. But yeah, the Wonder Clips seem to work better. Do the other side. I want my zipper, my exterior zipper, to be toward the center also. We just don't want to catch any of that in your seam allowance, basically. Okay. A couple more clips, and we'll have our sides done. Alright, we'll go ahead and move these out of the way. We'll go ahead and clip this bottom spot too, just because. I'll do a couple of them here. And then, so you don't forget, if you want, we want to leave an opening on the bottom. I say like maybe an inch. I'm just going to make a mark on each end so I know where to start and stop. Of course, you can clip if you want, even though we're going to unclip it immediately pretty much. But, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here, so all the way around, and stop here. Okay, my stitch length's at a 4. That seems to be a pretty good spot. I'm doing more than a 1/2 inch seam allowance, maybe 5/8, something like that, maybe even more, honestly. I want my lining to fit good inside my bag, so that's why I'm doing that on my lining only. And I'm going to work my way up to a 1/2 inch up here where my zipper tabs are, and do a 1/2 inch around the exterior part, and then make it larger again, like 5/8 of an inch, something like that on my lining. I'm sure it's more than 5/8 because I eyeball it and I'm not measuring. Do not sew on your zipper tab. That's what makes them look wonky and not straight when you flip it out right. You want to go right beside of them, but not on top of them. And if you cut out your decovil heavy the way that I suggested, you should just be following right beside of that when you're stitching around your exterior right now. If you used decovil heavy or any stabilizer on your bag, you're going to cut it, whoop, I don't want to turn yet. You want to cut it smaller than your exterior piece, so you're not sewing through the interfacing as well as the vinyl. It just makes for a bulkier seam, and no one really likes a bulky seam. backstitch over those center areas by the zipper tabs. Alright, make our seam allowance just a little bigger. Oh, that was a little crazy. Alright, last little bit here. Okay. Now we're going to box our corners. I don't need all these. Alright. We're going to box our corners and then we're going to turn it right side out and finish it up and we'll be done. Let me clip up. Let me clip off. Man, I cannot talk today. All my extra threads. It'll drive me crazy if I don't. Alright, let's box some corners. Not too bad. Oh, guess I will need a couple clips, huh? Alright, I guess I should explain just in case you don't know how to do this, but here's your corners. You've sewn everything together. I'm going to, okay, this might be kind of hard. Stick your fingers in that because you didn't sew your corner. You sewed all the way to the end and then you stopped and sewed all the way from here. So if I can get in here. Okay, open it up, squish them together the best you can. I'm going to nest my seams. This is hard to do in front of the camera. Hopefully, you know what, I'll use my lining. That'll be easier. Same thing, we stitched to the end and to the end. So this opening, and open it up. And we're just gonna, I am going to, whoops, wrong way, nest my seams together so those edges line up. I'm gonna clip it, and I'm gonna sew right across. Hopefully that was understandable. Probably wasn't, and I just, you're like, what? And on the exterior, we're gonna follow that line that we already made with our decovil heavy. If you didn't use decovil heavy, it would be 1/2 inch seam allowance. Whew. All right, squish everything down and get to it here. Some back stitching at the beginning and the end, and right across that seam in the center. I would suggest back stitching. Okay. You tell, that light is insane here. Anyway, I stitch across it right next to that decovil heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all 4 corners. You can just watch or you can fast forward, but yes, that's what I'm doing. Zipper pouch or zipper pocket out of the way. Now for the lining, guess I can move you up a little. Okay, we'll wait for that. The whole video is over with now pretty much. Sorry. I didn't realize it was like that. Okay. And again, since my lining, I want it to fit a little better, I'm doing maybe 5/8 of an inch. Honestly, I'm eyeballing it, just like I said earlier, but I am making that one just a little bit deeper than the one I did on the exterior, just so hopefully it'll just fit in the bag a little better. Okay, last one, then we're going to turn this puppy right side out. Good deal. Okay. Woo! Pay attention. Getting excited. Okay. We're going to trim these down though because that seam allowance is kind of big. So we're going to do that. Other one. Some people don't like to trim their seam allowances down, which is fine, but it really does help your corners sit together nicely, better, all that good stuff. But I am going to steam this just a little bit, the canvas. I'm not going to put my iron on it. I'm just going to steam it a little because this is the wrong side, so I don't want to steam it too much. It'll just make it flipping it to the right side out just a little bit easier. So I'm going to do that really quick. Like I said, I'm not putting my iron on it. I am just steaming it and warming it up. Another thing you could do is warm up your ironing board. Get it really hot and then lay this on top of that. That will help also to keep from actually touching the waterproof canvas. But I think we're all right. All right, we have the opening in the bottom of our lining that we did not sew through. You can reach in if you can and open your zipper. Oops, not close it. Open your zipper the rest of the way and then just start pulling it through. This part sucks. But if you leave your opening big enough, it's not really that bad. And I think I did. I'm just used to putting it down here, but you can't see. My husband just called me, so I had to stop. But alright, that wasn't too bad. I'm just about done. Ugh. Okay. This is the part where I said you could put duct tape or something over top of that handmade label we put on it, because you're shoving your hand in there and you could easily scratch yourself. Wow, okay, I thought I was almost done. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's alright, we got this. I can do this. Okay. Stick with me. We can do this. Teamwork. Who do I tap out? Can I get someone else to do this? Woo! Break some nails. Alright. Okay. Poke those corners out. Awesome. Alright. I'm just poking my zipper tabs out now. Somewhat. Because they're kind of indented. So I want to poke them out so they're sticking out. Oh, okay. Now I want to push all this in just to make sure it all fits and all my seam allowances are good. Woo wee. Oh yeah, that feels really good. I always do this. I always want to double check, make sure everything's good. Yep, all good. We have our little straps for our crossbody. Adorable. So now we just want to go ahead and finish up our lining so everything's closed. I want to poke those corners out inside out so it's all the inside out. You want to take the zipper pocket that we made for the lining, unzip it, reach in and pull the zipper pocket out, the lining part of it. So now we have the zipper pocket pulled out. Reach in there and then grab this and pull it through your zipper pocket. It'll take some maneuvering, but I promise it works. Alright, this is how we get a nice clean finish on the bottom of our bag so no one can see that we sewed it shut. Now you're going to be able to see, I only did like an inch. It's hard to tell because we boxed our corners. But I stopped right here when we left that hole. We're going to clip and we're basically just finishing off that edge that we didn't sew when we sewed our right sides together and all that. So just take your time, clip. It's not too bad. Once you do it once or twice, then it's like, oh yeah, this isn't bad at all, right? So yeah, whoa, back up here. I'm just gonna use as many clips as I can, or that I want. Mine's gonna be really tight. I would suggest when you leave your opening, maybe leave 2 inches instead of an inch because I gotta get really up in there to sew that. So definitely sew in a little more when you're sewing those right sides together. But I'm gonna make it work. It'll be fine. I'm probably gonna end up turning it around and just sewing back. I'll explain. I'm not sewing right where I stopped sewing previously. I'm gonna go about a ½ inch past it and start, but I'll show you how I'm gonna fix that. Backstitch a little. Make sure you're not wrinkled up underneath. It's all nice and flat. Okay. Okay, and again, this is where we left it open, the edges. Okay, all I'm gonna do to get to that other one is just turn it around and go the opposite direction. So I'll show you what I mean. So I started up here, but I couldn't, it's probably hard for you to see because my light's so weird. See, there's a space, I couldn't connect the lines. But over here where I finished, I could. So I'm just gonna flip my bag around and do the same thing, but just finish it. So just kind of overlap what I just sewed a little bit and then finish it off. Hopefully that explains it well enough. It probably doesn't. I'm such a dum-dum when it comes to these things, but anyways, there we go. Anything's possible. You just gotta kind of stop and think about it. You can always rip stitches out, not that that's fun, but you can. And you can always redo it. Alright, so let's push that back through the zipper pocket, because now we're going to sew up the zipper pocket. And then we're going to be done. So, remember how I said press it? When we pressed it, it'll keep its shape, which it did. So that's nice, because all we got to do is just put it together, throw some clips in it. If yours is pressed really good, you might not even need the clips. Just hold it together and there you go. But yeah. So 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever. Sew across that folded edge that you pressed earlier. Okay. Alright. Shove that back in your bag. This is like, I always want it to be just right, so it's kind of a pain. So I gotta get the corners in just right, you know? I should have steamed it before I put it back in. It would have been a lot easier, but it's okay. Alright. Woo! Zipper pockets pushed back in. The lining we're pushing in right now. I'm gonna close my zipper pocket. Alright. There is our lining. You cannot tell that we had to sew it shut because we pulled it through the zipper pocket to finish it off. Zipper pocket, you can't really tell because it's a zipper pocket. Not everyone's going to be like searching through there to figure stuff out. But you guys, the pocket's on one side, your exterior zipper. I will go ahead and add our crossbody strap. And there you have it. Goodness, excuse me. That is the cutest bag. And now, I don't know if I'll do a video for it or not. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, I'm going to be making a mini NCW, necessary clutch wallet, to go with this. So that will be my next set. So yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy, click subscribe, thumbs up, give me a like. Yeah, until next time. Bye guys.